Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new then welcome. My name's Christina, and on my channel we talk all things beauty from my own experiences. So before you go, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like this video, and leave any comments that you have for me down below. We've had products coming out left and right recently, and I've bought a lot of makeup that I've been testing out, trying out. So today I thought that we would do a quick roundup on brand new makeup and all of my thoughts on them. I have tried every single thing that I'm talking about today, and I want to give you guys all of my thoughts on them. So if you're interested in seeing what I think about some of the things that have come out recently, then let's get started. I have lost a nail, by the way. My thumb press-on came off, and I just haven't really wanted to put it on because I'm going to change this set out soon, so excuse that if that bothers you, but I just wanted to address that really quickly. First thing I want to talk about is the brand new Glow Recipe Bronze Dewdrops. These are supposed to be the bronzy version of these right here, the OG Dewdrops. We have been seeing a plethora of bronzing drops come out recently. We have one from Physicians Formula, from Pacifica, from Tarte. Of course, we have Drunk Elephant as well, and this one was probably the one I was most excited for. If you don't already know, these OG Dewdrops are some of my favorite drops for priming my face before makeup. I like to use this more like makeup prep versus actual skincare, and these are really good. So I will say that the formulation and the texture of this is very slightly thicker than the OG Dewdrops, but barely noticeable. They're still super lightweight. It does still have a gel texture to it. However, it can be a little bit more runny, and when you apply it to the face, you do feel a tiny touch more of a cream gel formulation, whereas the OG ones are definitely just kind of like a gel serum. I like these for bronzing drops because it's a very subtle touch of bronze, and when you spread this out onto the face, it spreads very evenly, so the bronzing pigmentations in it really disperse and kind of bronze up the entire face, giving you more of an even warmth versus some bronzing drops that can be a little bit more streaky. They dry down a little faster. I find that with the Drunk Elephant ones, I have to use those with a moisturizer or any other type of like liquid cream to kind of get it to spread evenly on the face. I can't use just the bronzing drops or else I'll have like splotches of bronze. This does not give me that issue, and I like the fact that we have a pigmented version now, so I really enjoy this one. Do you need both of them? I don't think so. I don't think the bronze is that much different, at least for my skin tone. Maybe if you're really fair or pale, this would make a really big difference for you before putting on makeup, or just in general if you're going with like a no makeup day. This will add just a little bit of warmth. I have used this without wearing any makeup, and it has kind of warmed up my face a little bit because my face is a lot lighter than my body, so when I don't wear makeup, if I wear just these, it'll just kind of warm up my skin and make it look a little bit more even. The Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Water Powder Serum, I was actually super intrigued by these and really excited to get these whenever I order them. They're supposed to be a water serum texture, and whenever you put it on the skin, it's supposed to blur your pores, even out your skin, and it's supposed to mattify overall, so it preps your skin for makeup, and you can also wear this alone. I did intend to do a wear test on this. If you guys still want to see like a full wear test, let me know in the comments down below, but I did film the content for that, and when I did it, honestly, I was so underwhelmed. Unfortunately, I didn't find that this made any difference in the wear time of my makeup or just the overall look of my makeup. It pretty much looked the exact same on the side that I use this on versus not using it. It is a very thin formulation. It feels like water whenever you dispense it. It does have this button right here. I actually have seen this packaging from Ritual Defy. They have a foundation that's in this packaging, and I really enjoy the innovation of it. This prevents product from getting built up into that spout, and because this does have kaolin clay in it, it can get blocked, so having something like this will kind of prevent that from happening. But whenever you dispense it, it's a very thin texture. You barely have to push down on that bottom right there, but when you put it on the skin and you blend it out, it has a super thin viscosity to it, almost like water, but you can tell it's not water. Like, it does have a little bit of thickness to it, and initially when I put this on the skin, you can kind of see where the serum is laying. thing, but overall when I put my foundations on top, it really applies the same way. I don't know if it's because I typically prefer a more dewy natural finish foundation, and I haven't used this with a mattifying foundation. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe I have to try it that way, but I was kind of expecting it to really fill in my pores, and I have the largest pores right in this area of my face, and it didn't really do much of a difference when I applied this. So kind of sad about it. I do want to continue testing this out. If you guys have tried it and seen a big difference with it, let me know how you use it, and I'm going to try using it that way. The Supergoop Protec Tint Daily SPF Tint. This has an SPF of 50. This is my most recent purchase out of all of these products. I have this in the shade 30W. I went into the store thinking that I was one of the neutral shades because my undertone is neutral, and 99% of the time I do fall into the neutral category. However, when I went in and swatched all of these, I did end up going with a warm tone because I just felt like the neutrals were a little bit too greenish on my skin tone. I don't have full thoughts on this, so I'm gonna give you guys kind of my first impression on it. I do plan on doing a collective skin tint video where I include this one, the CL one, the Live Tinted, and I also want to purchase the Wet n Wild skin tint. Like basically all of the newer skin tints I want to do a video on. But for my first impression, this is a little bit more creamy than other skin tints I've tried. It doesn't run down the hand the same way that other skin tints do. It is still very thin, but you can tell it has a thicker viscosity to it, and when you apply it to the skin, it feels quite creamy and you can see the pigmentation. But I will say, if you apply this with your fingers like they direct you to, you are going to get more of a light to medium coverage, whereas if you use a brush, you're going to get a little bit more coverage, but it's still going to sit between a light medium to medium coverage. I don't think that this has as much coverage as something like the Maybelline skin tint or the CL skin tint, but it does give you an even canvas if you do have redness in the skin, maybe very slight hyperpigmentation or just uneven skin tone. I think that this would help with that, but by no means do I think that this is going to be like a standalone foundation for me. I did apply this all over the face today in hopes that it was going to be like my complexion product, but I did end up going in with more concealer to kind of cover up my hyperpigmentation. So if you tend to have like acne scarring or stubborn hyperpigmentation, this may be a good base, a good starting off point for you, but I don't think that if you're looking for medium to full coverage, this is going to be it. And if you have more dry skin, I think that this will be nice, but for me as someone with more oily skin, I'm not quite sure how this is going to fare when it gets even hotter outside. Being that I live in Florida, it is quite humid, so I'm a little worried about this kind of melting off of my face. But again, this is just my first impression, so I do want to test this out a little bit more. So right now it's good, but at $44, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth that. The Nudescreen Nudescreen Blush Tint SPF 30 in the shade Sunset Rose. I could have sworn I talked about this in a previous video, but I looked back and I actually did a short and a reel on it, but I never included it in an actual video. So today we're talking about this one. This is a brand new lip and cheek tint launch from Nudesticks. I love the idea of my makeup having SPF in it. By no means do I think that it's going to replace my actual SPF that I use. I use a sunscreen every day before putting on makeup and after doing my skincare, but just knowing that I can have extra protection, like having products that also have sunscreen in it, I think is a really nice bonus. But the actual texture and tone and formulation of this, I really enjoy this. I didn't really doubt that I would, because I feel like cheek products from Nudesticks are always a hit for me. These are very different from like their blush sticks when it comes to formulation. This is going to be a very thin formulation that comes out super pigmented. However, when you do blend it out onto the skin, it goes on very thin and sheer, but you can still see the product on there. I think that this definitely has a little bit of a learning curve to it. Whenever I use this, I like to put it on the back back of my hand, and then I'll pick it up with a brush and kind of pat it into the areas that I want it. But before finishing one side of the face, I'll go ahead with the same brush, not picking up any more product, and go into the other side and tap in the blush. And this allows the product to kind of dry at least for a couple of seconds before going in with even more. I find that this layering technique works really well for this because this product is very liquidy, very watery. So to keep it from sort of smearing on the face and smearing any concealer or foundation you might have underneath this, going in and alternating sides really helps you to build up the product without losing any of the coverage that you have underneath. I think the reason that I like this so much is because it's been a while since I've come across a liquid blush that isn't extremely pigmented right off the jump, and this would be so nice for days where I don't want to wear a lot of makeup, or maybe even days I'm not wearing makeup. I think that this would be good because it just kind of blends into the skin and melts into it really nicely without looking greasy. It definitely looks hydrating on the skin. Like I said, because it is more of that sheer tint, it's going to kind of blend in and be like a whisper of color. But that doesn't go without saying, you can build this up. I like to put this onto the face before I powder and also after I powder. This is the only blush product I have on the skin today, and I think it's just such a nice flush. Next, we have this brand new Kulfi brow gel. I was super excited about this because you guys know my love for the brand Kulfi. I feel like all of the products that I've tried from them have been incredible hits. Their formulations are always on point, and a lot of them have made it to like my everyday makeup routine. But I'm super picky with my brow products, mainly because I'm terrible at doing my brows, and I think that it takes a special brow product to make me feel like there's a lot of ease of use with it. It takes a special product to make me happy with my brows. So you do have this double-sided brush and comb applicator. I think that this is really nice. It's very similar to the Refi one, but unlike the Refi formulation, the actual gel in this is a clear gel, which I love. I don't like a white gel because my brows are so dark. It's really difficult to get like white gels to blend into my brows without it looking dull or making them look grayish or like they have white flakies in them. It wipes off a lot of the product, like the perfect amount of product to where it's not a goopy mess on this spoolie. It always is just enough, which I think is so important when it comes to gels for brows. I like to just run this all into my brows, kind of fluff it into place, and then I'll go in with the comb side of this and really like push my brows up and really feather them out. I think the black bristles on here are really nice if you like to laminate your brows, but I more so go for a fluffy look, so I really like the comb to kind of separate my eyebrow hairs. And for me, I would say that this is more of a medium to full hold on the eyebrows. One of the marketing points on this is that it's an oil gel hybrid, so it does leave your brows feeling really soft, doesn't leave them crunchy or anything, and I really like that. And I think it's interesting that they were able to put several types of oils in this, but I still feel like I get good hold with this. But I don't think that it gives me the strongest hold throughout the day. As I go about my day, my brows do start to fall, especially on the tail end. It'll stay, like right now you can see that my brows are still in place, but I did start off with my brows being a lot more like up and feathery. And a good thing about this formulation is it's not going to get crunchy, so you could essentially go in and just brush them back up if you wanted to. Like as you can see, they're just brushing up with no problem. And I like my brows to look like this, but it doesn't stay like this. And I've tried putting more product in my brows, but then it kind of gets a little heavy. But I think if you have like shorter brow hairs, maybe ones that don't tend to fall as much, this would still work really nicely for you. It's just that my brow hairs are really long and they're kind of unruly. They don't really want to stay in place. So I have issues with a lot of brow gels, but my biggest gripe with this is one of the oils, or maybe several of the oils, I don't know, but One of the oils in this gave me an eyebrow pimple probably like the 3rd or 4th day that I was testing this out. And if you guys have ever had an eyebrow pimple, they hurt. So it was not pleasant, and I was like so turned off by this because of that. The pimple is gone, but I have been trying this out again just to double confirm that this is actually what caused that. But it was so uncomfortable, and yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be worth it if it continues to break me out in that area, but we'll see. It's not my favorite, but I also don't hate it. I really like these brushes right here. So just that alone, I think is worth keeping this around. Like maybe I can use this to put the brows in place and then maybe cement them into place with a longer holding brow gel. So we'll see. I think this is one of the things where I'm gonna have to kind of play around with a combination of products. Next, I wanna talk about some Sephora collection highlighters. I picked up 2 shades in the shade number 1, Glitzy Gold, and 2, Sparkling Honey, and these are so nice. So I've been really into more natural highlights, I guess, but these kind of give me a little extra something. These swatch really metallic. They're very thin, however, they still feel very buttery when you kind of like rub your fingers together. They do give you sort of a metallic swatch, but when you apply this on the skin with a brush, I like to put this right over my blush, not just like one streak like we used to do, you know. I like to kind of dust this all over the perimeter of wherever I laid my blush, and it gives such a beautiful, just really like impactful glow. I have it on today. I tried to put on all of the products that I'm talking about today. You can see the sheen kind of like at the top of my cheekbones and a little bit like on the rounded area of my cheeks, and it just gives you such a beautiful hydrated look to the skin. I use the shade Sparkling Honey because I feel like this still gives it a really nice tint of pink, and I like it for being on top of my blush. I haven't yet tried the gold one on my skin. I think one day if I'm just wearing bronzer and I want to really warm up the skin, or maybe I'm using a warmer blush, I'll put this on top. But I'm really enjoying these. I think that they're a really great price point. I think they're like maybe $12-ish or so. It doesn't look chunky, and it doesn't look like you have like obvious glitter on the skin. I don't believe this has glitter. I think it's all kind of like a satin sheen, so there's no glitter to it, so it just looks like healthy skin, and I really like this. I also have been putting it kind of on the inner corners and highlighting my nose. I've done it on my brow bone, so I've used it essentially everywhere that I used to put highlight on, and it works great. Like I truly really like these, and they're pretty much the only highlights that I've been reaching for. Now I did pick up the brand new formulation of the matte lipsticks from MAC. These are the MACximal Matte Lipsticks. They're supposed to be more silky, more hydrating than their old matte formulation. I picked up the shades Taupe and Velvet Teddy, and I actually compared it to the original Taupe and Velvet Teddy matte lipsticks. I swatched them side by side so you can kind of see each shade next to the old version of it, and in the swatches you can see they look quite different. Like I was a little bit surprised to see how different they looked on camera as well as in person. So the old Velvet Teddy I feel like gives you more of a deep pink shade, where the new Velvet Teddy almost pulls a little bit more mauve, like a little mauvey pink. I don't know if you guys can tell in the swatches, but I definitely could tell a difference. I was quite surprised to see that there was such a noticeable difference. However, when I put it on the lips side by side, I could barely tell a difference with the way that it wore on the actual lips. So that was kind of a relief. I was like, oh, okay, so it's still going to be pretty much the same color. And same thing with the taupe shade. They swatched very different. The old taupe I think was less deep and a little bit more rosy brown, whereas the new taupe is kind of leaning a little brownish red to me when it comes to like a neutral. But again, on the lips they swatched pretty much the same, like they looked the same, but where I did notice a big difference on the lips was the way that it felt. So I don't know, it could be because my matte lipsticks, my OG ones, are a lot older, or just because the formulation has been improved, but I did notice that upon putting it on the lips, the MACximal Matte Lipsticks, they do feel slightly more hydrating. You can tell that they kind of glide onto the lips a little bit smoother, and as they're sitting on there, you don't get that same matte feeling as the OG ones. It's such a slight difference, I will say, but I think where that's important is the longevity. As you wear it throughout the day, I'm sure that it would just be overall more comfortable. So I'm excited about this new formulation. You guys let me know though if you see like a noticeable difference with the way that the colors look on my lips. Brand new Lawless shades. So they sent me some of the brand new lip balm shades as well as the brand new Forget the Filler lip gloss shades. They sent me Lavender Sorbet, Nudie, and Maple Sugar in the Forget the Filler lip glosses. If you guys don't already know, I am a big fan of their lip glosses. I do have Nudie on right now with one of the lip balms, but they kind of like fill in the lips, make them look slightly juicier, and you can really build up how glossy you want these. Like if you want to just go in with a small amount and blend it into the lips, you can do that, still get a really nice sheen like I have right here, or you could really build this onto the lips and get really nice pigmentation. I would say that these are quite strong when it comes to pigmentation for lip glosses, but the lighter shades, they can get a little bit streaky, so you want to make sure that you really blend it into the lips so you can kind of avoid that happening. And as far as being lip plumpers, I love these especially because they're more of that minty lip plump versus being a spicy lip plump, and I definitely prefer a minty plumper. I think that Nudie and Maple Sugar are definitely my favorites. Maple Sugar alone is like the most beautiful, yummy, chocolatey shade. Oh my goodness, when I put this on, I was like, yes, this is one of my shades. And Nudie, I actually really like. Right now would probably be the time where I'm my most pale, so a lot of my favorite lip colors are pulling a little bit more warm on me. So something like this will kind of neutralize those shades for me, and I really enjoy it. Like, I love this combination right now, and the lip balms as well. These are really nice. I will say that they're not the most hydrating lip balms that I've ever tried, but when it comes to a stick lip balm, something really easy to apply on the lips, but also something that's going to give you color, I think that these are great. These are definitely more on the sheer side when it comes to pigmentation, and it's going to be a thinner formulation when it comes to lip balm, kind of like a hybrid between a lip balm and a shiny lipstick, you know? I really like this shade in Amaretto. I feel like this is going to be one of those lip colors that I kind of take on the go with me, something really easy to just apply on the lips. And I feel like these are the types of tinted lip balms that you can apply without a mirror, you know? Like, it's one of those really easy type of products to use because it is more on the sheer side when it comes to pigmentation. And last but not least, guys, I want to really quickly shout out these Ulla Henriksen Pout Preserve Peptide lip treatments. Now, I do have the original one that comes in the yellow tube, and I absolutely love these lip treatments. If you guys haven't used them, please pick up at least one of them if you are a fan of like Summer Fridays lip balms. Those lip butter balms are very nourishing and hydrating and thick, and these fall kind of into that same category. These are super hydrating, very nourishing and rich, but there's something about these that have a really nice slip to them, and I feel like they leave my lips feeling more hydrated a little bit longer than the Summer Fridays ones. And these new colors, oh my goodness, they are so good. This one is the Strawberry Sorbet, and it does smell like strawberries. It's a very sheer pink shade here, but it's the perfect like medium pink, as you can see. And whenever you sheer it out onto the lips, it just looks like I have a healthy wash of color on my lips. Like, my lips are naturally that pink, you know? It just smells like straight up strawberries, not even like strawberry cream or anything. It smells like a strawberry sorbet. And then we have cocoa cream. This one sort of smells like chocolate, I think, and this is definitely my favorite. So it's more of like a brown, like a reddish brown whenever you blend it out onto the lips. The color of these are so nice. Like, they hold the pigmentation really well. They don't get streaky. These don't get goopy on the lips or anything like that. This formulation is just such a dream. I'm constantly reaching for one of these. I'm pretty sure I have the original one in my purse right now. You will probably love this if you like a good thick lip balm. Okay guys, those were all of my thoughts on the brand new makeup that I've recently purchased. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any of these and your thoughts on them. And also if you have tips for me for the ones that I'm kind of like on the fence about, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you guys. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like this one. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!